welcome to the Hypnotize Me podcast. This is Dr. Liz, and this is a podcast about hypnosis, transformation, and healing. This is a mini episode where I answer a question or give some thoughts about something. But before we get started, I just want to thank my listeners, thank all of you for sending me email questions and for sending me good thoughts, like how much you're enjoying the podcast, and for tweeting an episode that you like or posting it on Facebook or sharing it. Like, all this stuff means so much to me, and I want to give you some appreciation and say a big thank you right here before we jump into the episode. All right. So today's question is, can you talk during hypnosis? And the answer to this is very short. It's a yes. Of course you can. You are always in control in hypnosis. No one can make you do something that you wouldn't normally do. There are a lot of hypnotherapists who have you talk and answer questions during hypnosis. That is how they practice is, all right, I need to be in tune with what my client is experiencing. And so, you're not given a whole paragraph, but when they're asking a question about where are you, let's say, and the person can say, I'm at home in my childhood bedroom, or I'm by the ocean. Okay, so now I know. To give you like an ocean scene, right? Like the sun and the sand, and maybe you're on cliffs, right? So maybe the answer is I'm by a California ocean, right? Like the California Ocean, Pacific, let's call it by its proper name, is very different than the Atlantic, which is on the East Coast. It's very different ocean from the north part of the United States to the southern part of the United States. Maybe you're in the Caribbean, right? Maybe you're in Australia and you're catching some like big, huge waves, or Costa Rica. Who knows? So anyway, my point there is like, yes, absolutely. You can talk during hypnosis, and often a hypnotherapist will ask you questions. They're usually prepping you for that though, as well. So it's not like they're going to pop that out in the middle of a hypnosis and you've never talked about it before. Okay. Another time that you may need to talk during hypnosis is when you're processing trauma or something comes up that creates a lot of anxiety in you, something like that. Often a hypnotherapist will recognize that and ask questions and ask even if the client is comfortable continuing or whether they need to stop and talk some. So that's another time that talking is often used. It's like, okay, would you like to continue? And someone may say yes, and this is what was going on. And the therapist helps them process that, and then they can go back into trance if they want to. So again, it's always under your control. It's always under the client's control, whether you want to continue that trance or not. Sometimes people don't. They can only handle a little bit at a time. A hypnotherapist is trained to recognize that and deal with that, like a licensed professional. Another way this is done is with finger signals. So you can set up before you go deeply into hypnosis that you raise the index finger if the answer is yes, or you raise the thumb if you don't know, or you raise another finger if you're not ready to answer that question, you're not ready to talk about it, or you raise another one if the answer is no. So that's another way to do it. If someone likes to stay quiet, that's always an option. And sometimes the finger lifting is an easy way to give an answer to a question. So some therapists like to work that way with it. But that gives you an idea. There are definitely therapists who don't ask questions during hypnosis. Perhaps it's more appropriate to be quiet and silent, or to just continue with the imagery that you're creating so that the person can make change. That's also an option. So a lot of hypnotherapists work that way as well. And remember, you can always stop a hypnosis whenever you like. You can always come out of it, share your experience, and then go right back into trance. That may vary from session to session, just depends on the session. All right, that's the question of the week. And I will talk to you soon, people. Peace. If you like this episode, do me a favor and rate, review, and subscribe on whatever player you like, or even better, tell a friend so that more and more people learn about hypnosis and how it can be helpful for them. If you want to know more about me, head over to DrLiz-Hypnosis.com. That's DrLiz Hypnosis.com. You can see the downloads and see if there's one that's helpful for your life. Or you could also join the newsletter and get a couple of free files, as well as lots of good content. I've written a newsletter for well over 10 years. Go ahead and subscribe and join the rest of the world. All right, people, have a wonderful week.